I think the most important piece is to understand that the homeless camps are complaint driven. We don't just go searching for them unless we get the complaint. Once we get the complaint, we have implemented a new protocol, whereas before we would just go in and either arrest or cite trespassers for that violation. Now we go out and we've developed a resource card that we provide to the individuals, and on the back of that resource card is basically a 7-day notice that they need to move off the property. And on the resource card there is a provider that will help them move if they need that help. And we make sure to explain that to the campers. And at the end of that 7 days we respond back. If they're still there, they could be cited with trespassing. But what we have seen is that all of them, the vast majority, with the exception of 1 or 2, are complying. And then we notify the property owner for them to clean up, and also if they don't have a trespass letter on file with APD, to go ahead and sign that and get that on file with us and post their property.
When we approach homeless folks in camps, we understand that enforcement is not always the way we need to approach it. We know that there's greater issues that these folks need to address for them to be able to get out of the position that they're in. We encourage them to contact the resources that we point them toward when we hand them a resource card, or refer them to lots of the nonprofits in the Asheville area. Hopefully we can help them move into a permanent housing situation. It's a win-win for the Asheville Police Department, the city, and these folks.
All right, if you guys understand why we're here today, we're reaching out to you guys because camping is illegal on property that is not yours. And we've kind of started a new partnership with these resources. We have a couple from the VA, the City of Asheville, Homeless Coalition, Homeward Bound, AHOPE, and different people here that would like to offer you help to get off, to quit camping and take the resources that they can help you with. They have substance abuse programs, mental health programs, and I'll let them go into more detail about that. But that's ultimately why we're here today, is to, versus just kicking you off the property, we want you to see that we are truly here to help you, and that's why they're crossing rivers and coming out here with us. So I'll let them talk if anybody wants to.
We're with ABCCM. I don't know if you're familiar with ABCCM here locally. We have Steadfast House for women and children, and we have the Vets Quarters for men. Even if you're not a veteran, we do have some beds that we make available for non-vets. So if you decide this isn't what you want to do anymore, I'm going to leave you my card and encourage you to get in touch with us, okay? And at least be willing to come out and check out what we have. You might be surprised. Ma'am, if you would, I don't have a card for Steadfast House, but if you'll call me if you decide you want to check out their services, I'd be happy to put you in touch with them.
Okay.
Okay.
What was your name again?
I'm Michael Rich. That's my card. I'm on the front there.
Okay.
Hey y'all, good morning.
Good morning.
Do you guys know AHOPE?
Oh yeah.
Sure? You guys come in there already? Okay. Well then I don't have a lot to say that you don't already know, but you know, we have outreach folks, you know, Angela and Sarah and Francis, so they will be glad to help you guys move in the next 7 days if you want that. So just stop by and let them know. And also, I don't know if anybody there has talked to you guys about housing, but that's definitely something that we do. So
well, I just talked to Sarah like last week because I had to go to the hospital. I got pneumonia, and a lady up there hooked me up with Sarah with the Homeward Bound and RHA thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that started last week.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah. Great.
Anybody else?
I just missed, nobody's veterans here, or are there any veterans?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm with the VA hospital, so.
Okay, so just so you all know, the new protocol is we're going to bring these resources out to you. Hopefully you'll take them. If I can get at least one person to follow me out, I can give you guys a card. And then maybe you can show us an easier way out too. But so you basically, from this point on, this is City of Asheville property, and you've got 7 days to take the resources, seek out help from these folks. And from that 7th day, this property, whatever's left here, will be considered abandoned and be cleaned up by the City of Asheville. Does anybody have any questions about that? No questions at all? Okay. We really hope that you'll take the resources and not resort to just moving your campsite somewhere else, because ultimately you will see me again. So that's what we're really here to do, is to encourage you to take these resources and try to get off the streets and get into shelter. This is a card right here that I'm going to leave with you guys. This is basically the resources available to you here in the city of Asheville. And this is kind of like a notice about the seven days, so you all.
Another one of those?
I've got it.
Yeah, thank you. So, and you can use his. Is that cool? Okay. And then I'm just going to need, Evan, have you got their names and date of birth yet?
Okay. Yes. Did you run them? No.
Okay. So.
We'll get them in a minute. I don't want to start right now. We'll
Okay.
deal with it.
If you'll just hang tight with this officer here, we're going to try to start moseying and finding our way back.
We approach these homeless camps only on a as-need basis. We deal with them as calls for service. We don't go looking for camps. If someone has a complaint of a camp on a piece of property, we do investigate it, and there are laws that we have to enforce. We try as much as possible not to have to cite or arrest anyone. A couple of times that need has arisen, unfortunately, but we try to take other routes that are more long-lasting and positive for everyone involved.
I think it's a great opportunity to show the partnership between the Asheville Police Department, the city officials, and the resource providers in the city of Asheville. It shows us our hands-on approach. It lets us see their hands-on approach, and just really trying to introduce the homeless campers to some resources that they may not have been familiar with.
That was my first opportunity to go out with local law enforcement and approach the folks at these different locations. Ron Kennedy, who is my front desk supervisor here and handles my intakes, had suggested that we do it, and I agreed with him. Law enforcement had given us a call. We hope to do this on a somewhat regular basis with them. I feel like our program is one of those programs that can really reach out to the homeless men in our community, both vets and non-vets alike. And my hope is that Tim, these gentlemen that we do reach out to on these trips to the campsites will respond favorably. I'd love to see those guys say, Michael, we want to be in your program, and will come down and give us that opportunity to serve them. Ron and I are familiar with a few camps. There's one you can practically see from our front door, and Ron and I go up there on a regular basis and check it to see if there are any men there that would be interested in our program. As of recently, we've not found anybody there, so that's a campsite that's not being used currently.
I've had situations, of course, during my homelessness that law enforcement would come out to where I was, and I have to admit that any time they did, they were always respectful. They never made me feel less than, I guess. This was the first time that I'd had an opportunity to go out with APD and other homeless providers, and I was highly impressed. They're not just there to make them move on. They're there to let them know that there's help here for them if they need it and if they want it, and that they don't have to wait a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They can get help now, and they want to put a face to their name, just like Veterans Restoration Quarters does when we run into veterans or civilians alike. I think it was a great project. I look forward to doing it again, and I totally agree. I think respect goes a long way. Just because a man or a woman find themselves in a situation that they're camping in the woods or under a bridge or whatever their situation may be, that it's important for them to know that there are people out there that care about what's going on with them and what their situation is.
We'd be silly to assume that there weren't parts of it that were uncomfortable, that it was just well received all around, because waking up at 5:30 in the morning, for example, can be a little overwhelming. But that was an opportunity to make sure that we were going to see people, because they would potentially have left later in the day. But once they understood that we were there to provide support, once the campers understood we were there to provide support, and that the approach wasn't going to be punitive, it was they appreciated that approach. I do think that it's important when you're asking an individual like a camper to make a major life change and to maybe transition from their current home, that they be offered resources. It's going to be more helpful that they have an alternative that they can select from than to not. I mean, no one organization or entity can end homelessness, so it's very important that we provide like a strong and secure collaboration across the board.
It is very helpful for folks to see that we're all working together, and that's really important. You know, that we as homeless service providers have a job to do, and the Asheville Police Department has a job to do, and that we're not necessarily at odds with each other all the time. You know, that's important. You know, we need APD's support as an agency for our protection, as do the folks we serve. I mean, they need the APD to be on their side as well. And so I think it's helpful for them, the folks who are camping, to see that we're not necessarily always at odds with each other. You know, and I think that's what it's been in the past, is that, you know, the APD is against homeless folks, homeless services folks are for folks, and it's just not true. I mean, we work really well with the APD. They have a job to do, and so do we. You know, I mean, the reality is folks are camping because they are not fit for shelter, or there isn't a shelter that's suitable for them, and we know we don't have immediate housing for them, and that's a problem. I mean, we have the same goal. None of us want to see people camping. We don't want to see people camping either, and so we want and need the police department's help to identify folks that we can serve. So we need their support, and they need our support, because they want to do the right thing too. They don't want to arrest people for camping. They want folks to get the services that they need.
You have to reach out for help, and you have to tell your story to somebody so they will know how to help you. You know, you can't have any secrets. You have to just come clean with whatever it may be. It may be, you know, abuse in your family or something like that. And so they can get you on track and get you to the right places that you need to go to. And it is an opportunity, and there is a hope out there, because it happened to me, and I never thought it could happen to me. But without this group and organization, and there's no way I could have done it on my own. Sometimes I have to pinch myself that it is real. I wake up in my house every day, and I look around, and I'm just so grateful. The gratefulness is just overwhelming.